Yeah, overall, pretty good. We missed that one field goal. I know Mike was disappointed with that, but then he bounced back and did a good job on his kickoffs, and then certainly that 50-yarder. I don't know how he pulled that one off. Actually, he was slipping a little bit, so that was a huge play. And overall, a lot of good things there, a lot of positives.
How hard was it to move the ball through the air against NIU's defense?
We had a tough time. We had a tough time protecting at times, and certainly a tough time getting open. And just didn't seem like we were in great sync throughout the entire game. But that'll improve. That'll improve as we go along. But they, give them an awful lot of credit. They had a good game plan, mixed the pressure up with coverage, and really did a good job. They made it very tough on us.
Talk about that last play with Bullock and the great play call.
It was a play we talked about at halftime, based off of something that happened in the second quarter. I believe it was the second quarter. So Greg pulled it out of his pocket at an opportune moment, obviously, and that was a huge play because clearly up until that point, our biggest issue was getting in the end zone. We had didn't have much success doing that. I think the other big issue, it seemed like we had a lot of second and really long. So not getting yardage on first down, that makes it tough too, because next thing you know, it's 3rd and 1.
How challenging was it stopping Lynch's running ability?
Obviously, we didn't do a great job of that for a while, and they made a great play on it. I think it was 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 there, the touchdown run the second half. But we expected him to be a really tough, competitive guy. He did a great job here at Mount Carmel, and the guy's a winner. So we knew that was going to be a challenge for us, and they did a nice job with their game plan, with him spreading us out and then running him. And we're going to see more of that down the road too. So it's something we're going to have to keep getting better at. But I do think we got better defensively in the second half, and that's encouraging.
Coach, were you expecting that kind of production from Bullock, or was it more of a pleasant surprise?
Well, I didn't know what to expect. He's a very young player, second-year guy on campus, and I don't think he had many yards last season, period. So, first of all, just for him to play almost the entire game, he didn't play the entire game, but for him to carry the load, it was muggy out there today. I was worried about that. A lot of things he'll do better in time, I think, but I think he did a lot of good things too. He missed a couple reads on some runs, a couple protections, and that part of that's experience and just keeping his eyes up, maybe being a little bit more patient. But that's going to come. But I thought he made some really tough runs too and did some good things, and certainly pleased with this being a first step for him. But as much as anything, playing the entire game the way he did, and finishing up in a strong fashion.
You said Tuesday that you'd use 3 backs, but was it because Bullock was playing so well that you changed that?
Yeah, our plan was to play all 3 guys, and at some point we will. That won't be a big surprise, but Greg looked a little young out there, but that was good for him to get on the field. Mike will be next, and certainly Damon did a lot of good things there, and I mentioned the touchdown run. He did a nice job there for us to get that first down at the end too. Those were tough, hard yards, and those things, those are things he hasn't done probably since he was a junior in high school. So that's a positive step there.
Kirk, if you talked about this earlier, I apologize. The winky punt, that kind of won the game for you.
Yeah, that's one of the things I mentioned. It just we had some young guys step in and do some things. Bullock's a young guy, did some good things, and then contributions from a guy like John, a 5th-year senior, that we've tried to, he was competing for that punting job, lost it to Connor, but thought maybe we could divide the labor a little bit, and it was a huge play. And then it's another 5th-year senior. I think Castile's the guy who goes down there and keeps it out of the end zone, and Greg's the guy who popped in when BJ was injured too and did a great job. So those kinds of things aren't real obvious, but they're pleasing because we're gonna need those kinds of efforts all season long.
BJ okay? Or?
Yeah, I think we got good news here. They X-rayed it, and I thought it was his shoulder. It sounds more like just he took a shot, so he's got a contusion.
Has Meyer's performance through his career been at all a surprise?
Talking about Mike now?
Yes.
Yeah. I think, to me, and I'd throw James Morris or a couple other guys, but both those guys have played a lot the last 2 years. But I thought we saw them really kind of take that next step, if you will, starting in the spring. They both had good springs. They just looked more confident, and so they both of them have continued that during the course of camp. James has had some injuries in and out of the lineup, but Mike's done a great job. So there's no guarantees, but we're really certainly counting on him to perform well this year and next year. And I think with the youth on our football team, if our guys in that class, those juniors, aren't playing really at a high level, we're gonna have some issues. So it's good to see, certainly. And Marshall Kane's really made progress too, and I'm happy about that. But Mike's clearly our starter.
Coach, through the first 3.5 quarters, offense kind of stagnant. What was happening in between the 20 and the 20 that just couldn't get the ball in?
I think just a lot of little things. But we drove the ball. I think we had 3 drives that were pretty good drives, significant distance. Then we couldn't finish the drives. But even in those drives, we weren't too often doing well on first downs. We ended up with some tough 3rd down situations, and But a lot of that's timing, a lot of it's just, guys feeling their way around, and then a lot of that's Northern Illinois too. Those guys are moving around. Again, good job with their game plan, and they're aggressive a lot, confident a lot. I think I'm correct in saying they had 9 guys back from last year, and then you throw number 36, who was the MVP here 2 years ago. So that's a pretty salty group, and those guys, they're athletic, they move, and they're aggressive and tough too. So, it wasn't like it was easy, that's for sure.
How would you summarize your quarterback play and your passing game?
It's rough right now. It's rough, and a lot of little subtle things in there that you probably wouldn't know just watching the game. But some things that he's counting on, whether it be a protection or a guy running a certain route, that type of thing that we weren't in sync with. And so he's going to be just fine. But I'll tell you, he kept leading us. He got everybody to hang in there. It's a pretty young group that he's stepping into when he goes in there. And I think he and James are the 2 stabilizers. Both James are kind of stabilizers in that group. But we'll grow and we'll get better.
Did you think coming in that the passing attack was behind the running attack?
Run attack, I had no idea. Quite honestly, I don't think any of us did, and we're hardly out of the woods. But it was a positive step. And then the passing game, was less than impressive in the spring. But I thought over the last 3 weeks, I think we've made strides. Or the last 4 weeks, I guess, this is our 45th time out there with a helmet on. So 30th, in this period. But that's one of the areas I think we've made improvement. It may not have showed up today, but it's gonna as long as the guys keep working, and keep their focus where they need to. It's gonna come around.